The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Town of Colonie's Public Information Channel. My name is Kevin Franklin. I'm the historian for the Town of Colonie, and we have with us today Mr. Earl Feiden, whose family has been here in the Town of Colonie for many, many years. Many of you people will probably recognize the name, which is very familiar here in the town, and we're going to talk about Earl's family and the family farm when it existed on the old Waterville Shaker Road in close proximity to today's Northway, where Feiden Lane is situated. And Earl, welcome to the program today. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Kevin.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about the family when they lived on 155, Earl?
I don't remember any part of that.
You know, okay.
I was born in 1924, and I'm 90 years old, and I've lived in the town, except when Uncle Sam borrowed me. But I've lived in the town ever since I was born. And I was born on 155, upstairs in the house with Mrs. Moffett and two Indian maidens who assisted in my delivery. I've been very happy in the town of Colonie. I'm not a politician, nor have I ever had a political affiliation. So I've enjoyed the town and enjoyed every bit of it. And I go back to when Dr. Lottridge was the supervisor, and I go back when Harry Carlson was the supervisor, and I can come right up through to right now when we have Paula as our supervisor. So I've been affiliated only by association, but I've never been a political person.
Earl, tell me a little bit about the family and the origins on Route 155, and how did the family transform from the farming, getting into refrigeration and that era?
Well, my father didn't like being the farmer.
Okay.
That was probably the start of it, and we then used Indians that come down from Chateauguay, and they had their own pond over and back near Hankas's, and which is another familiar name. But we had an ice house, and my father took it upon himself to be an iceman. So in 1922, I believe it was, he started peddling ice in Latham and Waterville, and he had a route. But I won't go back any further, because then you start getting into Prohibition. And we were sort of in the center of the Prohibition, because they used to come down from Canada on the canal, and they come right through our farm with, and we had the ice house so they could ice up their wares and continue on down through Port Schuyler, over the bridge, and over they went down 155, then they went down Old Loudon Road to Spring Street, and then Spring Street was the main catalyst to getting to West Troy and Troy. But how we got here, we're all German. My mother My mother was born in this country, and so was my father. But their fathers and mothers were born in my father's case, in Germany, and in my mother's case, in Switzerland. But it was a easy transition for the Feidens because they were farmers in Germany, and they come over here, and it was open for farming, and until the town of Colonie was the town of Colonie. I don't remember exactly because I wasn't here. How they put it together.
Well, the town of Colonie was founded in 1895, and some of the early assessors' records indicate that the Feiden family owned 95 acres of land on the Troy Shaker Road, which is today called the Waterville Shaker Road, or Route 155.
Right.
And some more acreage on Old Niskayuna Road, so probably around 130 acres of land in that general vicinity of where Feiden Lane is today. Now you talked about the family harvesting ice years ago. At what point in time did your father decide that the ice was no longer the thing to pursue and got into electric refrigeration?
That's a long period because he was never liked farming. And some of our conversations as he got older and I got more interested were along the fact that he just didn't like being a farmer. He wanted to do something else. So he started selling the ice off the pond, and his brothers, my Uncle Harry, my Uncle Frank, Uncle Clarence, and used to deliver the ice, and then they had to have something to do in the summertime. So we put coal in it in 1924, and I was born in 1924, but that was the first time they sold coal. But up to then they sold ice from I don't know if it was before 1920 or not, but back in then they delivered the ice and they cut it up and sold it in different poundage. But it was a lucrative business because it went from nothing to something that was worth money. And that worked right along with the coal, and which they delivered in the wintertime, and the ice that they delivered in the summertime. And it worked along with the produce that they raised down the farm. We never, I'm trying to remember the farm on Old Niskayuna Road, but I kind of think it was, the name is sort of familiar, but I think if you look back in it, I mean, you'll see Hankus, because Hankus was the adjacent farm to our farm. And it existed there, and I just don't remember that other name, Barthel.
For those of you who are familiar with the Colonie Prine House, the Hankus family owned the Prine House for many years. They had greenhouses there, and the two properties adjoin one another. When did you build the building, or when did you go into the building on the Latham Traffic Circle, Earl?
When I come back from World War II, my father wanted to know what I wanted to do, and he was going to build a house or a store over on 155, where he was running the business out of a four-car garage. So I just couldn't see myself doing business out of a garage. So I persuaded him And we worked with my brother, Donald, and who was living in Schenectady now. And we started to build the building. Now what we have the framework of over there on Route 9. And I dug the foundation with a couple of friends of mine, Don O'Hare and Al Page, and we dug the foundation because we couldn't get excavators down in that hole to build it. And we bought the back end of the, well, it was the Dedrick farm, and you can go start researching that one. But Dedrick owned the property that we have our store on.
Mm-hmm.
And Bertha Dedrick died probably she was the last one of the entourage, but she died in the 40s. But I'm getting off.
That's okay. The Latham Traffic Circle, Earl, was always the kind of like the hub of Latham and Colonie. Very, very busy. The intersection of Route 7 and Route 9. And originally, the road was just the old Loudon Road was just a T intersection. The trolley tracks ran through there at one point.
Right.
I think you said that you own the building that the old trolley company produced the electricity in for the trolley tracks.
We own it now. It's right back of our store.
Okay.
And it's for rent.
The old Latham Traffic Circle, Earl, you and Feiden Appliances have been established for quite a number of years, and in the late 1950s, the state of New York decided to put Route 9 underneath Route 7. And I know, looking at old newspaper articles, there was some controversy about that. Some of the people who owned businesses along Route 9 really didn't want to see that happen.
There was a lot of other ways they could have done it.
And that was evident in the paper.
Right.
Did that have any major effect on your business at the time?
Well, all you got to do is think of any business, and they take your main drag away from the front of it and move it away 50 feet away. It certainly did make a difference, but we've overcome that by our advertising and the fact that we made some excellent moves as far as getting product in there. We are now probably the key product seller of appliances. We have every brand, and we've recently taken over the Green family's business and the Scholar in Kingston, and we've made ourselves a cornerstone of where you will go to buy the latest in appliances. It's a hard business because I've been in it all my life, and I can think of nothing easy about it because you're constantly going against the box stores who can always advertise and get more for their product than we can.
But you've established a name for yourself here in the town, and how many employees initially did the company have when it started out, or compared to what you have today?
We had three.
Three people.
Three. Yeah, I had a brother, myself, and my father, and that was the three of us. And right now we have, I believe, it's 70
Wow.
employees, and we have 3 other stores, one in Kingston, one in Clifton Park, and where'd I leave one out? Well, the one in Latham.
That's all right.
The one in Latham, which is the Keystone store we have roughly most of the employees work out of that store, and we have 11 service trucks on the road. So we've made ourselves into a very busy business. It's not always profitable, but it's lucrative.
I remember and of course I grew up in Latham, but I remember as a kid, my father used to stop at the Feiden appliance store to pay the Niagara Mohawk bills. And
Right.
I always used to think that the Feiden store made electricity as a little kid, you know, when he was paying the bills. But is that something that you still do today?
No.
No?
Very frankly, when you handle a lot of money, and sometimes the bills would be in the hundreds and thousands, and you get 2 cents, it isn't a very profitable business.
So it took up a lot of your time.
A
without
lot of
much
our
profit.
time, and you were liable for your mistakes.
Oh, I see. I see. Where do you see the Feiden appliance company going in the future, Earl?
Well, we really we're looking for another location, and right now I don't know which way we're going. Whether we're going to go north up to Queensbury and Saratoga, or if we're going to go east or south. We have one in Kingston, which is a very lucrative business. So we have, it's a 5-story building, 100 square foot in each floor. And that does very well. My son Michael handles that business. And we've been there since, my God, 30 years. Of course, it makes me feel old.
Earl, for so many years now, the Feiden appliance store has been a landmark near the Latham traffic circle, while so many other businesses in that area have come and gone, buildings have come and gone. The old Latham Shopping Center, of course, was demolished and then rebuilt, additions put on the thing, and then demolished again. And now, Walmart coming in there. Plus, numerous other venues right in your area have come and gone, but Feiden Appliances seems to have outlasted everybody in that area. What do you attribute that to?
Well, we've been sitting there just watching everybody come and go.
Okay.
We've made a reputation. We have, as I said before, 11 service trucks on the roads today, and we have, I don't know how many delivery trucks. But we have a good reputation as far as service is concerned, and if you're not happy, we'll do something about it. But we've made our reputation. I have 3 sons in the business with me, and a daughter, Mary, who does the handling of the money and the advertising, and has done a tremendous job. But we have just made our niche, and they can't do what we do, nor can they meet our prices as a general rule. It's just an unusual thing. They'll put a loss leader out, and Walmart is great for it. They'll put something out under cost just to create a certain amount of flow. But they can't back it up with service, which we have. And we will go ahead and say anything you can come in with a sales ticket on, we can 99% of the time meet the price or beat it.
How did you learn the trade? There's one photograph in your building that shows you working on a compressor or some kind of piece of equipment. Years ago. Were you self-taught, or did somebody teach you how to do this, or did you just learn it over time?
The factories, they were very, very important to them was the service that we could render to the customer after they got the product, if they had a problem. and they provided people to enlighten me as to the way to do it. And they would spend days with me and other people that we had there to learn how to do this. And they taught us how to rebuild compressors, and I think that's the one thing you have there is that. And the other one we have is changing the transmission in a wash machine. And I could do all of that. I can still do them all. But they don't make them that way anymore. Everything today is down to compressors and sealed system. Everything is a sealed system. The motor, the compressor, everything is the evaporator, everything is in one big piece. You just take it and pull it out and put a new one in. It's entirely different than it was, we'll say, 50 years ago.
But the Feiden Appliance Store is still a place where if you have a problem, you could walk in and you could ask to speak with one of your sons, or at the time when you were in there personally, and be able to talk to the boss, so to speak. And that's important for people.
Well, I have 4 of my sons actively employed and 1 daughter in the business, along with all the rest of the people that we have that are there solely for the purpose of taking care of a customer's problem. And we do that.
Well, that's part of the,
Part of our reputation.
part of your reputation and what you would attribute to your longevity as a business here in the town. Now, you told me that you're 91 years old, Earl.
Right.
And what do you attribute your longevity to?
Having never worked a day in my life.
Earl, don't ever lose your sense of humor. It's been a pleasure talking with you here this afternoon, and I hope to see you again soon.
Well, anytime you want to do a follow-up, I'll try to think of some other stories I can tell you that would maybe curl your hair a little bit more.
Okay, all right, we'll take you up on that.
Okay,
Thank you, Earl. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, and have a pleasant day. Thank you.